want to.
That kills me.
Do we have
I
to?
don't like it.
Dude, this is what I'm gonna start wearing when I play as Arthas. I'm gonna be like, Frostmourne hungers. Hi, people.
Can we talk about how I just tried to show you the hairiness and...
Dude, Tapper was the one that downvoted that. I was all about that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just wanted to show you the hairy. Well, I've taken it out now. Secret's out.
There's the hairy.
There's the hairy.
Nobody can hear you, Tapper, apparently. Technical
Fail.
Episode 1.
Wow.
Fail.
Tapper,
we're not
Tapper, you have one job.
We're not,
We're
not here for me. We're here for you guys. Come on.
Oh, true. Hold on. Let me take off my Arthas helmet.
See, you pulled out your sunglasses. And
That is not an Arthas helmet.
Fine. Okay. Sometimes I don't own nice things. I just have to use what I have. I will get the Reb wig.
Episode 1. Revert A Wing.
Revert A Wing.
Do it.
All right.
Later. That's like pre-show or post-show.
So there's probably people out there who have don't really know what a MOBA is or know much about Heroes of the Storm. Does someone want to give kind of a breakdown of like what type of game Heroes of the Storm is, or do you want me to do that?
It's a MOBA.
Okay.
Thank you. I've just told you everything you need to know. Yeah, Heroes of the Storm is obviously Blizzard's take on a MOBA. They're calling it a hero brawler. Mm-hmm. It's a MOBA. It's a MOBA. So yeah, basically what you do is it's a 5v5 match. There's 5 different heroes on each team. You pretty much level up, get more powers, beat the crap out of each other. It's a bunch of fun. The big difference between Heroes of the Storm and other games in the genre is that there's no items, there's no gold, there's no farming. It's just pretty much you're fighting the whole time and PvE objectives. So
it's also really cool that you have the shared experience too. So you don't have like one shining golden member of your team who's getting all the experience, and you're like, well, what the crap? I can't kill anything because they're super powerful now.
Now, to be fair, that's Uther. Uther is already the shining golden member of the team.
Yeah.
He is pretty hard to kill.
Even if he dies, he is literally the shining golden member of your team.
He actually becomes shinier when he dies. He becomes more golden.
He does.
That's very true.
Just for those of you who don't know, Uther right now is totally broken. He's not totally broken, but he's pretty overpowered.
Well, he can't really get all the kills, but he definitely gets set up kills for the team.
Well, I mean, he can heal himself. He can heal his teammates. He can deal quite a bit of damage. When he dies, he actually stays there as that golden ghost dude. I mean, that's pretty overpowered.
Isn't
you
that
get
the
to
name
fight
of the...
for like 20 more seconds.
Golden ghost dude.
That's the name of the skill, right? Passive is golden ghost dude. And it's like the icon for it is just...
Deuces.
I think the show officially started. We just, lack of structure, really.
Who needs structure, right?
Yeah.
What I also really like about Hero is that is different from all the other MOBAs is that you don't have to get last hits anymore. Like, you don't have to like perfectly time your attacks to get the gold, to get the items. Now it's all just now your teammates are like, well, instead of focusing on farming, I'm gonna attack that Abathur or whatever. Abathur's not gonna be out there. Zeratul, you pop his invis, and then you're gonna you want people to focus killing the Zeratul, and instead of like but there's all that money there from getting those last hits. There's no longer that. And there's the team levels, which is really nice.
Yeah, one of the things Dustin Browder actually said at BlizzCon at the deep dive panel, which I thought was really true, is a lot of times when you play MOBAs, you kind of are forced to do things that are counterintuitive. Like, obviously, if you see an opposing creep on the board, it's your instinct to just kill it. Like, you just want to go forward and hit it. If you see an opposing hero, you just want to go forward and hit it. Like, you don't want to be concentrating like, oh, I can't get the last hit because I'm a support, or oh, this character needs the money more, or oh, I don't want to push the lane out this far. Like, I would say so far the biggest difference I've seen about Heroes of the Storm is the fact that like everything you're supposed to do makes sense in the confines of the game.
It does,
you are supposed to kill minions and kill heroes and break bases.
And in that sense, it's going to be really user-friendly for anyone who's not experienced in MOBAs. It's very easy to dive into and immediately know. It's a very immersive experience, and you do have a beginning tutorial playing as Jim Raynor where it tells you exactly what to do. Kind of similar for if you were starting a StarCraft 2 campaign. It's very similar to that, or at least I thought so. Maybe
Yeah.
just because it was StarCraft 2 and it was Jim Raynor, but
It's so simple, even Eldorian can play it. Eldorian,
Shout out.
Eldorian was playing, and Eldorian is the co-owner of BlizzPro, guys, if you don't know. But Eldorian was playing, and he was not a total blight, which was really unexpected for me. I really thought he was going to be terrible at the game, but, he wasn't. So there you go.
Props to Eldorian for not sucking at Heroes this start. So let's get into the free hero rotation. I mean, we're doing a show once a week, so we might as well talk about the rotations that are going out for people to play. Right now, they have Arthas, ETC, Muradin, Tassadar, the Witch Doctor, and Zeratul. That's 3 warriors, 1 support, 1 specialist, and 1 assassin. Isn't that too many warriors?
It's not enough assassins, as every single game has showed me, because Zeratul's in it.
Zeratul is in every single game. And if you have a hero that's not, like, say, the siege tank right now sucks because Zeratul can just blink on you and kill you. There's not much you can do in that regard.
Brief interjection. Can we just talk about the fact that a siege tank is not, in fact, your tanky class? Can we just talk about that?
I love the fact that a siege tank is not actually a warrior class. The siege tank is not tanky. Blizzard, step it up, man. You gotta stop. Like, you want to talk about making a game that's confusing? I don't understand what's going on. I picked the tank. He is supposed to be tanky. She is not tanky. Blizzard, I am uninstalling this terrible tech alpha. Like, I don't get it. Help.
Anyways, Zeratul, back to him and being overpowered. That stealth ability.
Well, he's not overpowered. It's just that everyone is using him. Nice.
This is overpowered.
He can port in, but I mean, let's put it this way. Say I'm the siege tank and Zeratul blinks in, and my entire team is like doing things. If Zeratul blinks in and he starts hitting me, and I start pinging nonstop on him, it's like, guys, kill Zeratul, and the team doesn't even pay attention, then yeah, I mean, Zeratul's gonna kill me. But if everyone's like, oh look, there's Zeratul, we just need to hit him once together as a team, and he's dead.
Zeratul does a lot of damage, but he's kind of faced in like the common conundrum that heroes with blinks face. Like, okay, you have a blink, it's on an 8-second cooldown. Do you blink in to hit the person, knowing you're not going to be able to get out if somebody just starts kicking the crap out of you, or do you save it for an escape? That's actually one of the only reasons I don't feel like Zeratul is overpowered. He is extremely he's made of tissue paper. If you find Zeratul and he has no blink, and assuming he doesn't go into his ult where he makes the Void Prison, you just kick the crap out of him. He's dead.
He can get the storm power. He can get the storm power, so he has 2 blinks.
That's way late in the game, though.
That's true.
That's my point, though. That's way late.
Or he could just stealth in there and wouldn't have to use his blink to go in, because nobody's attacking him, and then blink to go out.
That's totally true. But like, at least in Heroes of the Storm, you see stealth characters coming. You may not be able to physically click on them, but you at least see them coming, as opposed to most MOBAs where, like, you play Dota and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna hang out in the middle, and then Ricky Maru's like, hey, what do you taste like? Now I know. You're like, no, stop it, please.
Let's talk about
any warning.
Let's talk about the stealth mechanics. I love the stealth mechanics, man. Like, I love that you can see just barely who they are, like where they are, and if you look for them, you can break their stealth if you need to. Like other games, you have to buy wards, you have to worry about the items. This one, Tassadar has the one that spots things in the area, and then there's what is it called? Clairvoyance, I think.
Yeah, clairvoyance.
Yeah, and you can drop that, and if you know where he is, you can spot him that way. I mean, the way stealth works in this is like, if you're paying attention, you can get him, but if you're too focused on a team fight, you're not going to see him coming. And I think that's a really cool mechanic. I hope they keep it that way.
So basically, if you haven't already seen gameplay of this, if you have an opponent who is stealth, all they're going to see is this almost a clear ripple effect on the ground as the stealth hero moves. So obviously, yeah, you can see it. However, something that's a little bit different about heroes is if a stealth character is right on top of you, you can't actually see them. You can't see their outline. You wouldn't exactly know that for sure. Whereas in League of Legends, or are we not supposed to say other MOBA names specifically?
We can say other MOBAs. Who cares?
Sorry.
What, Blizzard, are we allowed to?
Even in
confirmation.
World of Warcraft, when you're in a battleground, if you have a rogue around you, if you have a kitty, you're gonna hear them and you're gonna see them a little bit, so you can start to attack and know they're right on top of you.
It's a good middle ground compared to other games, I think, and it's one of those things where I like what Taffer said. If you're looking for them, you can find them. You can use an AoE to identify them. Especially, most of the tanks have some kind of area of effect spell where you can just very easily put it in a place where you think they are, and you'll pretty much reveal them. And I think that's a good approach as opposed to because there's no items in the game, so you can't just buy rev wards, to put them down there to see if you can basically bait them into coming out. So yeah, I think it's a good middle ground. That said, most of the stealth heroes in this game do an unruly amount of damage. With the exception of Tassadar, whose damage is... I mean, Tassadar is really, really good. But yeah, his damage is not, too crazy.
Well, I mean,
also, Forecourt Jester, I am a cool mechanic. Thank you for noticing.
I really love Nova. I've heard from some people that Nova's overpowered, but then I heard from you, Rob, and other people that Nova's not that overpowered and you can deal with her. I think it's really who's playing Nova that it really matters. Well...
Also, kind of, when you look at hero design, right? You want to take a character like Nova. Nova can be invisible, and she also does a high amount of single target damage.
Yeah.
Those are the two things she really excels at. She doesn't have a high HP pool. She doesn't have, a lot of utility. Her ult, I haven't played her yet, so obviously her heroic talent, the one where she shoots the 3 sniper shots, somebody can jump in the way of it.
Yeah,
so you can actually block that. Versus, a character, say, Jim Raynor. Jim Raynor does really good damage, has the Hyperion, which is, frankly, just obnoxiously broken, in my opinion.
I've seen it be used wrong. I think I've seen people
Is that possible?
Yeah. I think it really depends on where in the map you use it, though.
What is using the Hyperion incorrectly, Taffer?
Well, I mean, it shows you where the range, and it's well, let's just walk out of it and wait for it to be done, and then go in and kill everyone.
True, but if you're stuck right in the middle of it, it is a little bit difficult, and you're going to take several shots, and it is going to be quite painful. However, yeah, if you're on the very edge of it, it's not that difficult.
And again, it also depends on the map. If you're on Blackheart's Bay and you're on one of those tiny bridges, there's not much places you can go.
Yeah, it's a really good. You know what it is? It's a really good shock and awe heroic talent. People see it coming down, and if you're not playing in a pre-made with on Skype or Mumble with people, half the team goes this way, half the team goes the other way. Nobody wants to be standing in the Hyperion.
So wait, you're saying the Hyperion is overpowered, but triple tap, which is that Nova's heroic, which you can't avoid it. If she has selected you, I mean, somebody can jump in front of it, but
you can avoid it.
Technically, if your teammates were willing to sacrifice themselves, but you can't technically avoid it. It's not an area of an effect that you can move out of that you can clearly see where to leave and go. You could be running halfway across the map and it's still going to get you.
I've got a lot of people with that skill. You're running away? Too bad.
Well, I would say also that ability hits one person. Now, Nova is the type of hero, mind you, that can absolutely jump out and just combo down someone.
Sometimes you need just that one person, though. Sometimes it's
exactly. And after she does that, I mean, it's not she's more I don't know. A lot of her damage is from spells. She has good auto attacks, obviously, but a lot of it is comboing those spells. So once she's gone through her whole little, I guess, cache of spells, I mean, for a few seconds there, she's really vulnerable. My point, though, is that Jim Raynor, as a total thing, is not. He's not vulnerable. He has an auto heal once he gets below 30% health. He has a utility get away from me push. He has something that you can pretty much spam that makes him move faster. He does way too many things. We should really just make a graph, but you have damage, survivability, Hyperions, which is its own stat. I mean, move speed. He's good at everything. Nova's good at one or two things, and then for the rest of the part, if there's a breeze, Nova dies.
Well, I mean, if you can do your burst damage and you get away and you're back invisible, people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go find you," and you're like, "Nope." Well,
and you can throw up your hollow decoy.
Yeah,
and that is so difficult to tell apart from the actual Nova. Heck, I was playing Nova half the time this weekend, and I didn't know which one which one was my hollow decoy. That's a joke. That's a joke.
The cool thing about that is the fact that there's a bug in the game right now. So if you have a different Nova skin, your Nova that you're controlling will be that skin, but the clone is the original Nova.
Oh, I didn't know.
Which is a really
I didn't know about that.
I've yet to run into anybody who's doing some really sick microing on their clone Nova to basically move both of them around. Assuming that's possible.
We can't. No. It's like an AI. So what I do is I usually run into a bush and I drop it. But see, if you're invis and you drop it, it doesn't break your invis. So they'll like, oh, Nova's attacking, and they'll be like, oh, attack her, and then next thing you know, it's like my team gets away because they're focused on killing me.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, Nova. I guess the one here I'd like to say who's I don't think is overpowered in all of this this free week rotation is Arthas. I don't understand this. You are basically the flagship character of the Blizzard universe, right up there with Jim Raynor, and you make Arthas suck. Arthas is terrible, and let me tell you why. So some of these characters, some of these warrior characters have like, they have like gap closing mechanisms. They can just get on top, like Muradin.
Yeah, definitely.
Muradin jumps on top of you and just begins pummeling you. Arthas is like, hey, could I get a minute? Hey, could you come over? I really want to Frostmourne hit you. Frostmourne's very hungry right now, and I just want to hit you. And you're like, nah, Arthas, I'm gonna walk away from this one. It's very difficult to get on top of people, and then once you are on top of him, he's really not tanky, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, he's a warrior class, and like, I would understand if you went and made Arthas an assassin. That would be high damage, and then he shouldn't be tanky. The problem is Arthas doesn't do high damage, and Arthas doesn't tank very well. What does Arthas do?
Arthas as an assassin would be awesome, man.
He feeds his sword, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I've learned from experience that running around yelling Frostmourne hungers while streaming definitely makes you do more damage. Just, you find a Nazba at like 20 health and you just run up Frostmourne hungers and then kill him, and it's a good time. But yeah. Otherwise, he sucks. It just really does. It breaks my heart.
It kind of tickles when he hits too. It's not like a really hard hit that you would anticipate out of him. And
no, he just kind of walks up behind you like, hey, how you doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
But he slows, right? And he has the aura that slows. I mean, if you have a teammate who can pull, like, stitches or something and bring them to you, you can pretty much screw over their day over.
No, if you have someone playing stitches who can actually aim their hook properly and hook them towards the group, then yes.
Yeah, that's teamwork right there.
My favorite tickle fight so far in the game has been Arthas versus ETC in the battle of nobody does damage. Like, ETC is like sitting there like, meow, and Arthas is like, I'm gonna get you. Come here. And then they finally fight and like nobody's doing damage, and it's like, I think let's sock 'em boppers on. They're like, ugh. And then everybody else is like, no guys, don't get in the middle of this. Let them hash it out. We'll be here for like 45 minutes. But
fairly accurate verbal description, or a verbal what's the word I'm looking for?
Description?
No. Reenactment. That is that's literally how yes.
Like, it's one of those things where by the end they're just both super tired. They're like, look, this isn't going anywhere. Let's just go our separate ways.
Let's just rock out. Let's
have a mosh pit. Why not?
But
I agree with I agree with the guy in chat, MT Ramis. He says Arthas needs death grip. I think so.
I would love to see that. I would love to see him get a death grip that just pulls people in.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like, make it honestly even like a heroic talent. Like, I'm not huge on Syndragosa.
Like, it looks cool.
It looks really cool, but it's just kind of I think it needs to be a lot quicker. So for those who don't know, Syndragosa is when Arthas summons, obviously Syndragosa, his undead Dargon, and it makes like a giant ice path. And it's really nice because it disables like towers and stuff and forts. Great. Also like slows people it hits. Doesn't really do enough though. And I'd like to see that replaced with like a death grip talent where he just like picks somebody every 45 seconds from like a decentish range and just pulls them in.
Yeah.
Like, you make it a heroic talent because obviously Stitches can do the same thing with a skill shot, but this is just a guaranteed hit. He just pulls someone over. And that way, when you're playing against Arthas, you know it's coming. And that would actually be an excuse for why he maybe doesn't do as much damage, because he's got a guaranteed pull-you-in mechanism, and then he can slow you with Frost Strike. But right now, he feels really anemic. Doesn't feel like he does enough.
Well, a lot of people say Diablo does more damage than Arthas, and I kind of can see that, but all the warriors pretty much don't do a lot of damage in general. They're all about, just controlling the pace of the game and knocking people out and, feeding your teammates kills. And I just feel like Diablo does that a lot better than Arthas, definitely.
Well, Diablo is really good because he's not only is he really, really tanky, but he actually has some really interesting build options. Like, I've been seeing a lot of debate. I don't own Diablo, so I haven't tried him yet because he isn't in free rotation.
He's great. He's really awesome.
But his two different heroic talents are each pretty good depending upon what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, I really think for the most part, I've heard people not so high on his like little gout to flame that he shoots.
Oh,
but it does a ton of damage.
I love the flame.
It does a ton of damage.
I love it.
I was in a game earlier where I was playing as Nazba, and we had a guy named Corlane playing Tassadar, and they were running away, and he threw up the psionic wall. So the whole team ended up against the wall, and it was just Diablo pretty much Hadouken with his
Yeah.
fire, and I was sitting there using the Gargantuan, and we just melted him. It has its situations in corridors, I think, where it's really good, and otherwise his other ult is honestly like for Blackheart's Bay, or when in a situation where you absolutely have to stop a cap, like somebody turning in a PvE objective, it's super solid. Yeah, I think Diablo, frankly, is right up there with Muradin, in my opinion, as the best warrior options. Like, Muradin can be built to just be a stun lock machine. Like, that's what he does.
So I haven't
made a
played
guide
Muradin
about
yet.
it.
So explain what his abilities do.
Well,
Muradin is amazing.
Not for
Muradin basically has a skill shot, kind of like if you played League of Legends, the Morgana little Shadow Bolt thing, that if it hits, it stuns. That's his first
cool.
ability. He has a Thunderclap, which, similar to World of Warcraft ability, little lightning thing around him slows people. He has something called Dwarf Toss, which is where he leaps.
Yeah.
And it slows wherever he lands. Those are his basic abilities. His trait is a passive that, like, once he hasn't taken damage for 6 seconds, he gets a pretty good amount of regen, which is really nice in lane, considering all you have to do in most lanes is just try to get XP and survive. So he gets that, and with talents, what you can do is you can level up his Dwarf Toss to not only have, like, a super huge range on where he can jump, which is great for getting away, but you can make it to where he goes faster when he lands by 20% for, like, 5 seconds, and then he AoE stuns everybody.
That's
He is
awesome.
the perfect initiator, because, like, you think about, like, ETC's Stage Dive, which is a great move, but it's so heavily telegraphed. Like,
Yeah.
people know it's coming, they just get out of the way. You can't really do that with Muradin, and that ability is not even a heroic talent. Like, you just have to spec right. And you can go into a DPS spec with Muradin, but it's such a waste of what he does. Like,
He has
he's
Avatar,
such a,
right?
He does have Avatar. That's one of his heroic talents, and it's my personal favorite. It buffs him up at max level. It just gives him like an extra 1,200 HP. He does mini stuns on hit. It can be buffed. It can be buffed
Even-
at level 20 to make him pretty much almost ignore snares.
Even his one ability, what is it, Stormbolt?
Yeah,
Where you can spec into it and it actually hits 2 targets.
That's the one I always pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, if you're in a giant team fight, like what I do as Muradin is seriously just Dwarf Toss in, Thunderclap, stun 2 targets, and then just begin hitting people. And then I let my HP get down a little bit, pop Avatar, get that HP back, and then kind of see how the fight's going. And if we're winning, just get on top of like a Nazba, get on top of like a Nova, someone that I could just mini stun. Because he does hit decently hard for a warrior, without any like spec into it. And then just either you do that or you jump out again with Dwarf Toss. Like you can kite people around.
Things start going south, just get the heck out of there.
That's how I do it. Well, because like
Yeah,
when
I
you're
don't, I
not
don't bother
doing-
fighting him. That's
when
for
you're
sure.
not doing pre-mades, like, puppies will just chase you around. They will
Yeah.
leave the team fight to come find you. And Muradin's so much faster than them with the right talent that it's just a waste of time. So
The mounting in this game really, like, oh, you're gonna run away? Well, I'm gonna mount and catch you. There's a lot of that kind of stuff, which is really awesome. And with Muradin, he can just jump off his horse and leap on you and stun you. He's the Mountain King from Warcraft 3, right?
no, Muradin was in Warcraft 3. He was Arthas' buddy that totally did die in Warcraft 3. That Blizzard decided didn't die when it came for Wrath of the Lich King. You do this quest in Wrath of the Lich King out in Dragonblight where they're like, "Hey, we heard some funny stuff in that cave. Go investigate." And because in World of Warcraft, you're always basically Scooby-Doo and the mystery team, you just roll up in the van and go to the cave, and you're like, "Oh, wow, crazy, Muradin's not dead, except I'm pretty sure an ice lance hit him in the head. But whatever, cool." And you go find him, and he's totally not dead. So, but yeah. And then
he's a cool
now he's, I think, the king, because something happened with Magni. I didn't really follow. I wasn't paying attention in Cataclysm. I went AFK.
Cataclysm? Yeah.
I went AFK in Cataclysm.
I haven't followed Warcraft lore at all, man.
I did get the Magni skin, the Magni Bronzebeard skin, which looks amazing.
I got the Nova one, the Spectre one. But now you
Right.
told me about the images, and it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
So what about Tassadar? Have you played Tassadar yet, Robert?
No, I haven't. He's one of those heroes where like I keep meaning to, and then like I don't know. My opinion of Tassadar, based on like my love of StarCraft the original, is like he should be like a lot like more of a DPS character.
Yeah. Well, he has the whole. I like him as support. He can do a lot.
Yeah.
He can do a lot, just not damage.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
In our
Kaffer and
console-
I were playing before we actually got on today, and I had never tried Tassadar before, and I had a quest to actually play a support, so I was like, why not? He's the only free one right now. And And later in the game, you can actually make your auto attacks chain to your enemies, and you can slow them or stun them,
Oh,
either
that's
one.
cool.
But other than that, there was just no real DPS coming out from them, and I hate playing support. So it's like basically my only abilities were to shield people and make sure that they were protected. And
Yeah.
Lord knows, I don't want to do that.
Support's job is to make other people kill people.
We
Yeah.
had clarification from the chat. Magni was turned into a Jin Diamond, which has been later corrected to Giant, but I like the idea of a Jin Diamond better. So we're going to say Magni was turned into a Jin Diamond. Thank you, Batten216.
So what about the specialist, the Witch Doctor? Anyone play him?
Well, yeah, I actually just played Witch Doctor earlier today for the first time. I was streaming, and I was like, hey, what do you guys want to see?
Oh, you're talking about the Gargantuan. I remember that.
Yeah, I went with the one that,
Yes.
that is the one where she just channels it.
Yeah, that one's amazing, dude. I don't see why I would ever take the Gargantuan when I can have that one that does tons of damage.
Well, it's if you're winning and you can afford to stand back in fights and just channel that thing, it does a bunch of damage. But I kind of think if you're playing a match where it has like more Zeratools and Novas, and you're just afraid of just getting insta-jibbed, the Gargantuan at least stays alive once you die.
I didn't know that.
It's one of those things where it's situational. Like what suits the match better. But otherwise, her skill set is really kind of weird because she basically, two of her abilities feel very similar. The frogs and the spiders feel really similar, but I've kind of learned as I played her, you just spam her abilities. I actually,
Robert,
it's a guy.
It is. I thought
It does not have a shirt on, by the way.
Well, you know what, guys? I am officially wrong. The man without a shirt. Those spiders and frogs. I actually ended up upgrading his frogs a lot, and it's just the success of Nazba usually hinges on how much you can get people in your mummy walls. Because once you get him in there, he actually does a bunch of damage.
It's a skill shot CC. Yeah. It works really well. But the thing is you can catch your own teammates in there, and I've seen it happen a lot. Like
I've caught myself in there. That was not fun.
I've caught myself too. I think it's one of those things that you definitely have to you learn. It's like, oh, this is not gonna hurt me. I'm just gonna cast it here and save myself. And it's like, no, I'm dead now.
Yeah, no, I Battle Panda, you got problems, man. You got problems. No, I definitely think he's really strong, and I think him and Tyrande are personally, like, as I would say actual supports go. I would say Tyrande and Witch Doctor are both right there. Tyrande's amazing though.
I want to play Tyrande though. She's the support, right? With the
bow?
Well,
I pretty much play her like spell damage. That's how I spec her, and like Starfall is just such an amazing ability.
Well, she has a bow, so I mean, you got to use that bow if you're gonna have a bow.
You also have the skin in the shop that can turn her into a blood elf, so
it's worth it. Pretty awesome looking, I gotta say. I remember I posted that on Twitter. I was like, oh, look at this cool picture of Blood Elf Tyrande. And someone who was like really into lore was like, what? No, that doesn't happen. And I'm like,
the Cataclysm all over again.
That's why you go with the Nexus.
That's what I was like. I was like, hey, bro, it's called the Nexus. So all kinds of craziness happens. He was like, no. He just like kept yelling at me. I was like, all right, I'm sorry.
Even in the tutorial, when you actually get into heroes, it basically, I think it was, who is it? Tychus? Somebody is talking. No, I don't know.
It's Jim Raynor and Uther.
Somebody's talking to you, and they're like, just don't read too much into it. Stop asking questions. Just
have
stop
fun.
asking.
Oh, the best part of the tutorial, actually, while we're talking about it, guys, is when Diablo's like, I will feast upon your terror, and Jim Raynor's like, well, no. Now, hold on a minute. You can't eat terror. That's a feeling. I thought the tutorial was hilarious.
I love that stuff. And dude, when you are at the gates and they're like, "Are you ready to kill some people?" and they're like, "Oh yeah," they'll talk to each other. And sometimes they'll be like, the Barbarian and Diablo, and they're like, "Yeah, let's work together." And it's like, "Oh, this doesn't make sense. Why are you working together? You guys hate each other." It's great. I love
to
that
answer
stuff.
your question, it's Blood Elf Tyrande. No, that's honestly been one of my favorite parts because I'm honestly just kind of a lore nerd. And so when I was playing as Tychus and I had Eldorian in my lane as Jim Raynor, the match is getting ready to start, the gate's getting ready to go down, and Jim Raynor's like, just like old times again, huh, Tychus? Yeah. And Tychus just sounds disgusted. Like he's just like, yeah, just like old times, huh? And like and then when you actually kill Jim Raynor as Tychus says, Tychus is like, huh, most wanted man in the sector. You ain't that hard to kill.
Fine. Yeah.
I love the back and forth, and apparently, like I've been talking to one of the CMs, and apparently we're going to be seeing a lot more soon.
Oh yeah, they're gonna keep that up. That's something I feel Dota 2 did really well, and I'm glad that Blizzard is continuing it, because you really don't see that very much in like League of Legends or Han.
Well, and the thing is, like, you have that. This is the benefit of this game, is that it's drawing from such vast universes with so many different characters, and so many people know these backstories. So, like, just being able to like hop on your favorite character, like if you are a big fan of Arthas, like I was in a lane earlier as Arthas with an Uther, and I was waiting for it. I was like, come on, say something to me, Uther, say it, I dare you. And of course he did not, because Frostmourne hungers. But I can't wait for that to be put in. Like, I want to see stuff like that, or even like, you know, stuff you'd never even considered, like Jim Raynor versus, say, you know, I don't know, Illidan. Like, it'd be really cool if there was just some kind of like little snappy back and forth.
Yeah, I agree.
I was playing as Arthas earlier against an Illidan, and I found him at low health, so I managed to kill him somehow. But I killed him, and I was like, oh man, this is basically Warcraft 3 all over again. Because in the Frozen Throne, that's the last mission, is Arthas killing Illidan, well, not killing, but wounding Illidan, and then walking up to put on the helmet. So that's, I mean, stuff like that's really awesome to be around. So.
You need to stop it, because I'm about to reinstall Warcraft 3.
Let's all reinstall Warcraft 3 and just stream Warcraft 3. Have you guys, like, seriously forgotten what an amazing game that was?
It's amazing, dude. I love
I only
that
got
game.
like halfway through.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if you guys saw what casual. I don't know if you guys saw, but you know, Curse data mined like the heroes we're supposed to be seeing in the future, relatively like soonish, and like on that list is like Anubarak, Kael'thas, Thrall, Sylvanas. Like, I am so excited for Anubarak, unreasonably excited for this giant spider. Yeah, look at chat.
I want Sylvanas.
Yeah. Raynor versus Kerrigan.
I want
completely agree.
Sylvanas.
Yeah. Cakes cast.
Sylvanas,
Raynor versus
definitely.
Kerrigan. Raynor versus Kerrigan actually has an interaction in the game. Like when Raynor kills Kerrigan, he like sighs and he says, "Didn't have to be like this way, darling." Illidan versus Malfurion, that's also in there too. I think it's just similar to the Hearthstone interaction they have. Like when you play Illidan against Malfurion in Hearthstone, Illidan just goes, "Brother." But like that kind of stuff is all stuff that they're taking full advantage of, considering all the content they have to go with.
So far, what have you been playing? What have been your favorite moments?
Honestly, I think playing against some of these names that I like know through like Twitter and through their other work that I've never spoken to, I've gotten to play with the developers a little bit. You know, I popped on and I ran into Richard Q at one point. I've run into a lot of the community managers, and they've just, you know, we've actually had really good matches, and I think that's been the best part. Is just playing with all of these characters or all these people that I, you know, have kind of like look up to but never met before. There's like, I gotta say the best person I've seen, she's on Twitter, I don't know her exact handle, but it's like Molly Razor. She is really good. Like, she is just like broken down all these maps and just plays them at such a high caliber. Like, I think she won Cursed Mines or no, Cursed Hollow. Yeah, she won Cursed Hollow in like 6.5 minutes earlier.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I know, like,
That's pretty quick.
That's like playing with these people. Playing with Elvine has been awesome. Yeah, exactly. Elvine's always playing. Like, you run into Elvine, like, you'll have Elvine.
It's like level 50 now or something like that.
You like, you know, I always thought, I was like, oh, Elvine's a cool guy, he plays WoW, whatever. And then like this game comes out, and he just like plays like 48-hour blocks. And I play it for like 2.5 hours. Like, you know, I need to go for a walk. I'm gonna go get like
all MOBAs are like that for me, man. Like, I cannot like play non-stop MOBAs. I have to like play a few games and I take a break. That's why the dailies work so well for me.
Yeah, it's a very good incentive to only play in like small blocks. But Reb, what about you? Any big moments you've liked?
Yes, actually, my favorite part of this whole experience has been the dailies, believe it or not. It really pushes me out of my comfort zone because I love Nova. She is my favorite hero, and I would be perfectly content to keep doing verses with just Nova day in, day out, and just become the best pro esports. Sorry, I got caught in my daydream. But it really does. It pushes you to try other heroes and try other roles that you wouldn't normally play. Mm-hmm. Personally, I don't like being pushed to play support, but, you know, it gets me out there and it gets me trying different heroes. I keep wanting to call them champions for some reason.
Blame League of Legends.
Get over that. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
But, yeah, and then you get rewarded for getting out of your comfort zone and reaching these certain heights, and that's been personally my favorite part of playing the game so far.
Real quick on a slight aside, Disney has yet to have a movie about an esports princess, Reb. I'm just saying, there could be a Disney movie about Reb the esports princess.
It could happen.
I'm
It
gonna
could.
twant to write a song for next episode
Make it
where you
happen.
can sing.
Uh, AFK a moment. I need to write this letter to Disney.
I want to go where the esports are.
If you can get me in the next Star Wars, that'd be great.
Oh my god, yeah.
Definitely.
So my favorite moments is it's kind of the same thing. The dailies and Nova. Like I love Nova. She's been a lot of fun. I like.
You can't have her. She's mine.
You guys can fight over Nova, man. Murden. Murden forever.
See, I bought Murden and I have yet to play him.
Bad.
I actually bought a lot of heroes. I was like, I have all this money from selling all my crap in D3. Might as well just buy heroes to try. And Diablo and I bought Tyrael. I barely played him, but he's like my favorite from when I played him in BlizzCon. But so far, I like the dailies a lot. I kind of hope that unlocking heroes becomes a little less gruesome. Like I understand that it helps people keep playing, but if you ever want to get into like ranked, it's gonna suck when like you can never get the new heroes because you have to keep saving up so much gold to get them.
Well, and the really counterintuitive part of it is you actually get more gold per level based like on the higher levels.
Oh, I didn't know
which
that.
is really nice, except like, yeah, I'm at like 700. I'm level 21 now, and I get like 700 gold per level, which I assume will also keep going up. But it's kind of one of those things where like, similar to what Taffer said, if you want to really like unlock all those heroes to be competitive down the road, that number's got to change. And the answer I received when I asked about like, what's up with these prices is they purely said it's testing. So it's one of those things where I would expect to see them go down and gold generation maybe go up a little bit. My personal gripe with that too is I really don't understand the skin pricing. Like, if you go in there into the shop right now, Tychus Findlay, the infested Tychus, is $15 right now. I'm not personally going to spend $15 on a skin. Like, I'm just not going to do it. 10 is my threshold, and I bought the Magni Bronzebeard one. And a lot of it just had to do with the fact, the accounts are going to be reset. So we're getting this money back that we spent.
Yeah.
So I don't mind doing it now because it's money I can spend later down the road. But
that's why I got the pony.
I just want to understand the pricing schemes.
The Rainbow Unicorn is $20.
Yeah, I ride around
$20. And the Direwolf, the Cyberwolf, all of those are only $10. They specifically priced the best one at $20 just because they know that people are going to pay it.
I think the Cyberwolf is only $750, and that's the one, not the Direwolf, the normal Direwolf from Ogrimmar. That's only $750, and that's like the only one I really want. I'm really close to buying it. I'm like, no, Rob, no, don't. Get your hand away from the mouse. Stop.
Like, I want to, but I can't justify releasing my money from my hands for something that I use for all of about 45 to 50 seconds per match.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's more like a tool like in the beginning of the game when you like are riding by your teammates to be like swag, and then your teammate's like, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Damn it, I don't have a rainbow pony.
Every time I ride the rainbow pony, like, oh man, nice mountain. I just run around in circles with it. Yeah, look at the trail. It has sparkles and everything. And Diablo has a unicorn horn, so it kind of fits when you ride on top of it with Diablo.
Yeah, Mal, the battle cruiser silhouette is Jim Raynor's battle cruiser, the Hyperion. And once you upgrade it, it actually gets a Yamato cannon, which makes me very happy.
So what Blizzard said was, you're gonna be able to get, if we're just testing the story, you're gonna get a mount out of it, and it'd be cool to have future ways to unlock skins. Like, if you do well in ranked, you can get a skin, and they have like custom skins for the stuff like that. I don't mind certain skins being money only, because it's cosmetic. I care more about like people being able to play the best of their ability without having to drop down money. And as long as but it would be really cool to be able to get skins with doing achievements in the game pretty much.
Well, let me ask you this now. Obviously, with League of Legends and Heroes of New Earth and really any of these other games, you get currency per game. So per match, you get some currency. In Heroes of the Storm right now, you only get currency from A, leveling up, or B, completing quests.
Right.
So while it does set a cap, like even in Hearthstone, every 3 games you win, you get 10 gold.
Yep.
So I don't. Is that one of those things where you expect to see that change, you guys think, or do you think they're just going to keep it as is?
I'm actually okay with the system because it's the whole daily thing. It's like I'm going to play 3 games per day, and looking at Brad.
Well, I mean, think about how many heroes they're already talking about implementing in the near future. That's going to bring the hero pool up to like 30-ish, I want to say.
And
if
they're
that
gonna
goes
try to get to
through-
100. I mean, Dota 2 has like 100 heroes or so, you know.
Well,
They're
exactly. And if
legends.
you're getting that kind of cap set on how much gold you can make a day, and the prices don't change, it's going to take forever for anyone to get competitive without dropping a bunch of money. And I'm
Yeah.
talking like a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I would like I completely disagree with Taffer. I am not happy with the system. I would like to see gold for winning, and then I would like to see like maybe a tenth of that for losing. But just going in there and spending 30 minutes running around with a sparkle pony, I would like to see some satisfaction from that. Even if it's 10 gold, you know, I can grind something out even if I see just a little bit of a reward from it. But it's
Yeah.
just entirely too difficult to
I
get
agree
a
with
gold stockpile and then have a champion that's 10,000 gold, and I'm only getting what 600 gold per level now.
Yeah.
Plus the pricing tiers on the heroes is so weird. Like Jim Raynor, which is frankly considered a top tier hero right now, 2,000 gold.
Yeah.
Arthas 5,500, and frankly, I can't justify paying for him right now.
No.
I want him just because he's Arthas, but I can't really. Chat, out of curiosity, if you guys have seen the pricing structures, we'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on that. So,
I bought Arthas before he was free to play. I completely regret it.
to quote Jiraxis, that's a mistake. Well, that's the worst part too. Is like you ran in and you were like, "Oh my god, it's all my favorite characters ever."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and then you're
Yeah.
like, "Arthas, can I take you back?" Like you bring Arthas to Walmart, you have like this receipt. Like, do you guys take back this Lich King? He's not working like I thought he would. But no, there's.
I agree with you, Reb. I do think I think it should reward you for games played and not just from level ups and dailies. I just don't think the system's too bad. I just feel like the heroes are too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why you get gold per win, 3 wins in Hearthstone is because they have their whole arena thing. They don't have something where you have to buy into like an arena in Heroes. So I think that's the whole thought behind that. But I mean, when you're out of dailies and you're like, I really want that hero, you're stuck on getting levels up, and then you have to do your heroic quest and your hero quest to get all those experience. But those are one-time things. You know?
And also for the dailies, you have 4 different slots for 4 different dailies. I have not been given more than 2 at one time. And once I complete those, it's good to go, and they're not giving me another one till tomorrow. So that kind of sucks.
Well, and even in Hearthstone, they only give out 1. I've been kind of surprised they've been giving out 2 lately. I'm not sure if that's going to be a final thing, if they're going to give out 2 as opposed to Hearthstone's 1. Because the daily structure is very close to Hearthstone's.
Yeah, it is.
Which is great.
From the
I like it. But
Yeah.
somebody pointed out in the chat, which is that, Battle Panda pointed out, and Blizzard's been saying over and over, these pricing structures are not final. These are absolutely tests. And we fully understand that. We're just giving our personal feedback. Like I said, I think either the prices on the heroes need to go down or the gold revenue or the gold generation needs to go up. If either of those change, then I think it's fine. But
And if they do sale, like I wrote in my post, if they do sales, like they do sales in League of Legends, and they only sell the USD amount, they don't sell the IP amount. If they do sales for heroes, they should put the for sale the gold amount too. I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think even, the thing is, like, their hero pool is going to ramp up so quickly. Like, that seems like, I mean, people have been commenting how polished the alpha looks, and it absolutely is a polished looking game. But at the same time, like, there's so many, like, social features, like, there's so much UI stuff, there's game balance stuff that needs to get worked on, but their hero generation is going along swimmingly. Like, they are just putting out these heroes, it looks like. And I think by the time it goes into closed or even open beta, we're going to be sitting at, like, a 30 to 50 hero pool. And at that point, like, I think you can put, like, 1 to 5 a week where you can slash the gold price by maybe 50%.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be totally doable. So,
I think so too.
yeah. I'm looking at some of the other stuff, some of these other comments, but yeah, Cakes Cast, I agree. The similarities in the pricing, like obviously like the 10,000 gold into like $10 for the heroes. It's nice that they're similarly tiered, so you don't have like a character that's like Jim Raynor's not 2,000 gold and then $10, which is nice. Like it's nice that it's all similar. But yeah, I agree with that.
So we discussed this before the show, and we decided we were going to do 45-minute episodes, right?
Yeah, if you guys are, I think
Sure.
45 minutes is a good length.
So this is kind of like testing the water. This is our first episode. Please tell us what you think, and how what you would like to see. And I here's my notes. It's on the
Yeah,
envelope.
we didn't actually get notes, guys. Taffer's like, no, you guys got this. But yeah, if you guys like 45 minutes, let us know. If you want an hour or something, this this is very much an inaugural thing, and we're very casual about this. We're not looking to make anything like crazy structured, so just let us know.
Absolutely. I want to thank everyone for coming out and watching. I want to thank Reb, and I want to thank Robert, and thank myself because I'm awesome. So if you look under the portraits, you'll see their Twitters. Please go follow them. We have a Twitter as well. What did I make it? I made it Stormwatch BP.
So people are gonna think we're with the gas station.
Yeah.
I put all the oil in the Gulf. Good job, Tapper.
Stormwatch was taken, man. Stormwatch is taken.
Pro planning.
The show is I don't think it's gonna be a PG show. Like I slipped out the F word once, but I try not to. I definitely gonna do a podcast for this. I got to figure it out. And I'm gonna do that after I work. So after the show, so probably tomorrow I'll figure out how to do that, and we'll get it up on iTunes. Just go to heroes.blizzpro.com, and I will definitely post about it there. All right, guys, it's been fun.
Real quick. Yeah, real quick. If you guys want to come out, I'm streaming pretty regularly for Heroes of the Storm. Taffer, are you still streaming, or?
I have issues streaming the game. Like I'll drop frames, but I will stream it every once in a while.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So right now, if you want to see me streaming, it's Twitch TV / or normal / Zen style. Yeah, and we'll be streaming a lot. Definitely check out the content. Both Taffer, myself, Eldorian's chipping in. We got a guy named Hotstreak, JG Giant. They're doing content over there on heroes.blizzpro.com. Yeah, and guys, thanks so much for coming out. Like, we're looking forward to doing this. We are very excited about this game. Very excited about talking about where it's going and hanging out with all of you guys.
Absolutely.
So, sweet.
Reb?
I was like, am I going to get called on, or do I have to just blurt it out?
Raise your hand.
No, definitely. First off, thank you guys for having me on here, and thank you for everyone who's listening. And I think that would be a very good idea. I don't know who said it in the chat. Mal Lavenue, who said that we should end each show with a live game.
A live game.
We should do Red playing, and I'll cast it.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that's something we should consider for next time.
Next time we'll do it next time because I'll have Zen stream it, and then we'll set him up for the Blizz Pro account, and then he can stream it. Because right now, it's not stable for some reason. Yeah, sweet. So we'll if you guys have any ideas, feel free to tweet the show account, Stormwatch BP, or any of us. We want to make the show whatever you guys want to see. We're very community driven with this, so let us know. All right, guys.
Sweet.